Hi there everybody, it's me again, Dracula's daughter, and she does look like Dracula's daughter today, doesn't she? My diet's going okay. I've lost yet another half an inch around my waist. People will hope, would hope that I would lose it around the neck kind of thing, do you know what I mean? So like swinging, I suppose. But anyway, so last video was about makeup and things like that, and stuff that I use and where I get them from, all locally sourced and everything like that, and so yes, and looking at the video the other day, I noticed that my roots were in need of doing. It was just, they look disgusting, and I do apologise for that. But so I rushed out yesterday and bought some hair dye, so I'm doing that either this evening or tomorrow. I also treated myself to a little bit more makeup. I don't know why. I've got millions of bits of makeup that I own. But of course, Poundland, every time I go in there, they have false lashes and stuff. I nearly bought some more of those, but I thought no, I have more than enough at the moment. So I got myself for £1. It was a company called Makeup Academy, which are good themselves. Superdrug sell them as well. And it was a lip primer and a lip pencil, both of them together for £1, which I thought was a really nice bargain. So because lip liners are on their own, so that, the cheapest I've ever seen is £2, and that was from Makeup Revolution, but that was online as well, because about £3-4 in the shop. So that was a bargain, and I got a lip matte thing as well. It's like a lipstick, but it's clear. If you have a lippy that you love the colour of, but it's too shiny, it's too glossy, you just put this on it and it mattifies it. So that was by a company called W7, which I've seen online, and they are comparable in prices to Makeup Revolution. So apparently they're good as well, so I treated myself to those. It's nice to treat yourself now and again, which is really good, and I used to treat myself with biscuits and cakes and things, and I don't do that anymore. Being on this diet seems, I don't feel like I do need to, well, saying that though, I did Friday. I bought myself a huge apple pie and some custard slices and sat there and ate the lot, well, with the dogs. They had the crumbs afterwards. So, but Saturday and Sunday I did feel awful because I don't eat wheat anymore, anything with wheat in anymore. So my stomach got bloated and I had stomach ache and cramps and everything. So that won't be happening again soon. Today we're going to talk about, I have talked about it before, but I'm going to go over it again, because at the end of the day, this video, seagulls, yes. At the end of the day, these videos are out there to help people and try and educate people as well as I can, and try to get people to understand as well as they can about what's going on and what we as trans women, especially, go through. I can't talk about trans men because I'm not a trans man, I'm a trans woman. So I can't talk about something that I don't know. See, there's something I don't know about people. Yes, people all lovely butterfly. People seem to think that I know everything, or she's, oh, there she goes, she knows it all, she thinks she knows it all. I don't know it all. I do research, I do read a lot, I do a lot of research and everything, because things like that interest me, and that's how I know things. My mind's like a sponge. I seem to soak everything up and it stays in there. So everything that's happened in my life I can remember. I think there's about 4 days I can't remember, but the snippets I can. But that had to do with drugs and somebody giving me drugs, so it was intentional on their part, but not on mine. But that's another story. That was a long time ago in the 80s. So, but there you go. Today, I'm going to talk about what to expect when starting on the trans journey after you've come out to yourself and to your nearest and dearest. and then you go to your GP and have a word with them about it. Now, I don't know if it's the case still today, but when I first started a long time ago, when I first got on the journey, a few of the GP, and I have mentioned it before, a few of the GPs were a bit credulous about it, incredulous, I should say, about my being a trans woman. One of them stated categorically that I wasn't trans. She said that you're not trans, Tony. You're just a drag queen. You're just a transvestite. She said you're just a cross-dresser. Just stick to it. And so that upset me, but it stopped me from doing what I was doing, because I did start the hormone treatments illegally, and I would not recommend that to anyone. I was buying them off a friend of mine. She was a trans woman as well. In London. I was buying them off her, and in those days it was easier than it is now to do that. These days you have to, even though you had to jump through hoops as well in those days, but these days it is not as easy to reorder your prescription, because it's all online and everything, and wherever you go it's all exactly the same. Apparently, but saying that though, my GP records is not the same as my hospital records, apparently. Trying to get an appointment at the local hospital for physiotherapy. Oh grief, oh, they're chatting away today, aren't they? They're so good. They didn't have the same address and everything that my GP had on my GP record, which I thought would have been exactly the same, but clearly not. So that annoyed me considerably, because chasing things and it just really annoyed me, to say the least. That's part of my one part of my mental illness things. It's just really, any changes and whatever like that, I freak out totally. Apparently it's part of a borderline personality disorder, I've been told. So there you go. That's another little illness to my bow, as it were. But anyway, going back to what you expect starting on the journey, you see your GP, then they'll get in touch with the local gender clinic. To me was Newton Abbot, and then they moved to Exeter. They're still in Exeter now. That took 6 months to get the first appointment. I had that, it was in December, and I had to get there, and then because they moved over to the first time I had the appointment, what they did, they actually gave me a letter to say that even though I still looked like a boy, I was a trans woman, and I was on the journey to become a trans woman. They gave me a letter to carry around with me, so I can be treated as the gender I identified with, not the gender that I was at that time, if you understand what I mean. It's a letter just basically saying, like, she is, this is Tony, she is a trans woman, she's just starting on the journey, so, treat her as a trans woman, treat her as a woman, as a female, so all courtesies and everything like that, so would associate with being a female. And that was for basically, so if you got caught, if I got caught using the female bathroom out in public somewhere, so and I hate using public loos anyway, so I didn't need the letter, but in that was the first thing that was given to me, and the psychiatrist I saw, he was brilliant. I saw him. And then because of the weather and everything, it was awful, absolutely awful here. That was in, 2010, I think it was. Yeah, 2010. And the weather was awful, horrendous. And travelling from Torquay to Newton Abbot and then going up a hill, literally like that, to go to the clinic, nearly broke my neck a couple of times, and once I turned up there, there was no one there because they'd all snowed in, but I still turned up. But anyway, so then from there I had to go to the one in Exeter, which is you know, trying to find it was nigh on impossible, but I did find it in the end. And then I saw another, she was a trainee, and seeing her for about 4 months, I think it was. Then I saw one of the doctors at the clinic, and he prescribed my hormones. But of course, I had to wait for blood tests to come through because you have to have an initial blood test to show how much testosterone is in the body, how much estrogen there is in the body, and there's a graph, there's a table, and then there's a line going up like that, and I was literally just tipping onto the testosterone. I was quite close to being a female in the hormonal sense. And I do remember when I was about 13, 14, I actually grew a left breast, and it was so painful. It was unbelievable, and I was given some medication, and of course my mother took me to the doctors, and he told me, I said, well, give him these, which made me ill, but that left breast went. But you know, so like, it's just one of those things. Perhaps it was the estrogen trying to come through and everything. I don't know, but you know, so just. But anyway, so then at the clinic, then I was given patches, HRT patches. And it was May the 6th, I think it was. Yes, May the 6th, or May the 4th. May the 4th, no, it was it was either the 4th or the 6th of May anyway. One of those 2 days. It was just after my ex-husband's birthday, and finally was told that I can get my prescription. So I went to get my prescription from the chemist, got them, slapped one on, and it was like, right, now what do I do? And it was because up until then it was like the expectations and the you know, and all the disappointments to get to that point, from missed appointments, not by me but by the psychiatrist, and everything, you know, because it just builds up, you know. So and after waiting for so long, had it done, and put the patch on just here, and sat there, and I went to my ex-husband and said, now what? And that was the first day of the rest of my life, really. And then I had to still go to the clinic in Exeter, Dixonsfield in Exeter. I had to go there every month to see a psychiatrist, and then every 3 months to see the gender doctor there, and saw him every 3 months, and I had to have blood test every 3 months as well, and I had to do that at least a month before I saw the doctor there. And they had to have the had to send the results straight to the clinic, and I never saw the you know, sort of the results or anything like that. So well, I'm going to smack him in a minute. Simba, come here, please. But anyway, so yes, that was that, and after about 6 months of doing that, my patches stopped working. And I went to the clinic, told them, they didn't believe me. They didn't believe that after 3 weeks of being on the patches that my boobs were growing. And I remember with the trainee psychiatrist, I just went like that. I said, see? And she went, oh my gosh, yes they are, Tony. She said, you have got buds. And that's my first ever flashing incident, I think. But one boob grew much quicker than the other. And that was so weird. I had one tiny boob and one large boob, and I panicked, and I had to go to see my GP to have it checked to see. And he went, no, he said, Tony, he said, it is a normal thing, which I thought was you know, hello Zena, which was such a relief. But the fact that one was huge and the other was tiny, it was just, oh my grief, what am I going to do? And then it just, oh, right, come here. Honestly, come here, please. Come on, behave, behave. Zena, come here, come here. Honestly, she's so naughty, that girl. But anyway, so going back to that, the patches didn't work. Told them at the clinic, they didn't believe me, and I had to wait about another 6 months for the blood test and for them to basically say, oh no, you're right, you are telling the truth, and because you know your body and you know when things are working, when things are not. So and it was shown on the blood test that the hormones had gone down and everything. So. But anyway, so I got on the gel and I've not looked back. And within about 2 weeks of being on the gel, my attitude changed. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't upset anymore, because I went through, I suppose, like menopause. It was like going from testosterone to estrogen, then back to testosterone, and then back to estrogen again. And it was a bit too. It was a lot to take. It really was a lot for me to take, and it was horrible. It really was awful. Really was, but there we go, and carried on with that, and then about 6 weeks, was about 6 weeks before I had the surgery, I had to give up taking the hormones, and but thankfully they gave me an injection that they give to women. I don't know what the injection was, but and it was right in the stomach, and the pain, it was awful, because I'm petrified of needles anyway, and this one's it was literally, it was just like I don't know. In fact, but what it did, it really helped me. It got me laid back. It made me really laid back and really nice and calm and everything. And it was wonderful, and I wish I could have had those before and for the rest of my life, really, because it really was, it really made me feel so calm and everything, you know. So, and then I had my surgery, went to Brighton for the pre-op assessment in the December, was it? Yes, in the December 2012, and had the pre-op and then come back. Such a long journey to get to Brighton and back. Got back home, filled in the forms, posted them, phoned up a week later, 2 weeks later, and it was, oh yes, we've got an opening for you in 6 weeks' time. And it was, in 2 months' time, it was 8 weeks, 9 weeks. And it was literally just like that. Some people waited much longer. I was just lucky, I guess. Sounded as if they had a couple of cancellations. I had a choice of the last week in January or the first week in February. So I chose the first week in February and travelled down on the 5th of February. 4th of February, I had my surgery on the 5th. And came back home a week later, and that's it. It's just I had to go to the clinic one more time to be signed off, as it were. They said I could have a couple more sessions with a psychiatrist there if I needed, but there was nothing more to talk about, because the reason why to see the psychiatrist there was to help me on the journey to where I am now, and you know, up to the surgery, and that's all they do. Then after the surgery, they just go, there you go, out and about. That's it. You're cured, but you're not cured, because your mind has to come to terms with your body. It's like your mind and your body have fought against each other for how many decades, how many years, you know, before you had the surgery. With me all my life up until I was 48. So 48 years of fighting, the mind and body fighting against each other. Oh, big spider, sorry. Oh, it's gone down my bra. Oh, it's gone down my bra. Ah! There's a big spider. Oh, it's huge. Huge. Sorry. Oh, grief. Got to get you out. You're not sticking my knickers, love. No, you're not. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Oh! Sorry, it's down there. Oh, my grief. Oh, no. I have to make another video. Bye.